The question that we had was classification of assets, because that's on our website. We talk about assets. Ross mentioned that there. Why is classification of assets important? Why is that important for compliance?
Well, I suppose for me, I'm lucky enough, right, working with a consultancy team that I get to see it from both angles. So first off, I get to go in and actually, depending on the role that we're being employed for, but we get to go in and be a support function to actually, I suppose, assist people in identifying risks and determining classifications. Mm-hmm. And then luckily, I always get to see it from the other side of the house, being an auditor. So never been the popular side of the house, but it definitely gives me and our team of consultants a better perspective on, I suppose, compliance and different elements of classification. So with regards to compliance, I suppose one of the main areas that I'm dealing with on an ongoing basis is PCI DSS, and that's the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. But with regards then classifying the data, no matter what type of compliance area, you have to first off determine, have you got an information classification and data handling policy in place? And have you actually identified, I suppose, what's acceptable for the business? In many situations where I'm going in, they actually don't have these in place. So the first people I go to are the business, and I have to determine, I suppose, what can we do as security people to enable the business? And in general, what I've seen, I suppose, in some recent examples is where it's actually the top level management who really are making the drive to the cloud. Where I know Ross mentioned earlier that IT are drivers. But where I've actually seen as well, now it's getting to the stage where business are driving this as well.
Exactly,
right?
and risk tolerance is a huge thing as well.
Yeah.
And what they accept as what they can tolerate for their business in the
yeah, and it gets to the point, I suppose, a recent example then where it was a semi-state body that I was dealing with, and the top level management, they hadn't classified their data, let's say, but they were making a push to put certain elements of data in the cloud. So what we actually did as a starting point is develop this policy. So we spoke to the business and we came up eventually with 4 different classifications of data. There was public, there was internal, there was confidential, and restricted was the class. So actually working with the business, whereas they actually originally wanted to put restricted data in the cloud, during conversations with them, the handling guidelines that would have, I suppose, had to be incorporated, they decided to actually keep restricted data in-house. But that was based on a clear risk assessment and actually the appetite for what they wanted. So it's like Coca-Cola. Are they going to put the recipe in the cloud? They may, but have they got the appropriate mitigation in place?
Yeah.